Baka sabihin nyo na, utang normal lang naman yan dito sa Canada. Well, that was my mindset before. Pero, the truth is, hindi siya normal. If you're struggling na mag-budget or if you're struggling on how to be mindful in your spending, buwan-buwan, para ma-achieve nyo yung goals nyo, this video is for you. Dahil dito sa video nito, I have a checklist na I will share with you kung paano maiwasan ang maging magastos dito sa Canada. Why do you need this? Dahil minsan, kahit na alam na natin or may narinig na tayo or may napanood na tayong video na ganito, nagsasabi na huwag kayong gumastos sa mga ganyan. Pero most of the time, pagkatapos nating panoorin, nawala na sa isip natin, and then wala na, nakalimutan na natin, hindi natin binaon sa utak natin. So, ang checklist talaga ay nakakatulong, and if you would like to download this checklist, I also have created a downloadable file na ma-download nyo sa comment section down below or sa description. And also later in this video, I will share with you the budget spreadsheet, Google Sheet that I have na available for download as well. I have 10 items on this checklist and I will go through each one of them and explain each para maintindihan nyo talaga at saka makarelate kayo, and then you will take action and apply it to your life. So the first one is you have to define your goals. Do you have short-term or long-term goal? Or you can have both at the same time. So why is it important to define your goals? Kasi minsan gusto natin na makamit itong isang bagay, and since hindi natin pinano, it's just like an urge, a quick urge, and then you took action, you bought something na hindi mo pinagplanuhan, means gumastos ka nang wala sa plano, wala sa budget, diba? However, if you plan, for example, that big purchase, meron ka nang nakalaan na pera doon. And so you have to set a short-term or a long-term goal. Like halimbawa sa situation namin noon na we do something out of nowhere. Like sabi lang namin, let's go, mag-move tayo doon, we pack our things, and then we moved, and then we rented a place na mas mahal siya kumpara sa yung tinirhan namin before. That's why these kinds of decisions na pabugso-bugso, walang goal, is not really good for our finances. So halimbawa, gusto niyo magbakasyon sa Pilipinas, huwag kayong magbakasyon dahil yung kapitbahay or kakilala or kaibigan ninyo ay nagbakasyon sa Pilipinas, and then you saw their pictures, and then you say, oh, let's go bakasyon tayo, meron naman tayong credit line, gamitin natin yun. But you know what, kapag nagbakasyon tayo sa Pilipinas, yung bills natin dito, it's still running. Even though wala tayo dito, even though walang nakatira sa bahay natin, we still pay for mortgage and rent. We still pay for our utilities. That's why it's a good thing to have a goal and then save something for that goal. When you have achieved the amount already for that goal, then you can act on it, you can implement it, you can buy that thing that you want because you have saved for that already. And speaking of long-term goal, this is important kasi for me, you can set your short-term goal based on your long-term goal. Halimbawa, ang long-term goal mo mag-retire ng maaga kasi ayaw mo mag-work forever for the rest of your life. So, halimbawa, may goal ka na by 50, you will stop working already because you are going to have businesses set up already na making money to supplement your income so that you can live comfortably na hindi ka na magtatrabaho. So, if you have that long-term goal, that means you will not just set a short-term goal na mga purchases, big purchases like bumili ng mga mamahaling kagamitan na hindi mo kailangan dahil nakatuon ka dun sa long-term goal mo. So, that's how I view it when it comes to long-term and short-term goals. Number 2 is very basic but important as well, which is to track your income and expenses. So I have a budget spreadsheet for this available for download down there. If not in the description, it will be in the comment section. And why do we need this? Kasi if we don't see something, most of the time we are visual. If we don't see the figures, we won't realize na we are overspending over our income. We have so much expenses. Sometimes unnecessary expenses na over our income already. And if you are this type of person, you have to have a budget spreadsheet or you can write it manually if you want so that you can see how much in dollar, in figures talaga, in numbers, kung magkano yung income na pumasok sa inyo every month, and then yung expenses na na-incur ninyo every month. And then you can see if there's something left, and if there's something left, where did it go? Did you put it into investments, savings, or other things? We have to be aware of these little expenses because there's a saying that goes, a small leak will sink a ship. And that is so true, especially when it comes to finances. Kasi minsan meron tayong mga tiny purchases na ginagawa na we don't realize it makes a big impact sa finances natin. Kasi we think they're just small amounts, no? Especially dito sa Canada, pag bumili ka ng isang bagay, something, most usually there will be GST and PST or HST. So on top of the price that you're seeing, there will be taxes, and you wouldn't realize that until you bought something, until you had the receipt, because on the tags it wouldn't say how much in taxes. Well, you can calculate if you want. For example, GST is 5% and for most provinces, the PST is 5% as well or 6%. Like in Saskatchewan, we have 11% for combined GST and PST. And in most places, like halimbawa dun sa bandang East, usually dun sa kanila is HST and there are HST na 13%, 15%. So can you imagine that? Those prices, you cannot see it in the tax. It just comes up on the receipt kasi you paid for that because that's taxes. It's sales tax that you have to give to the government. Number 3 is create a realistic budget. So kapag ka nagbabudget tayo, gawin naman natin na realistic, hindi yung overinflated or underinflated. Halimbawa, sa isang buwan, lumalabas talaga kayo para kumain, like going to a fast food, or you use that as a time to, have bonding with your kids. So you go to a place like McDonald's. So ilagay nyo rin yan sa budget, wag nyong iwanan. Kasi pag di nyo nilagay dyan sa budget, of course, di nyo makakita. Like you cannot visually see it na andun pala yun. Isa pala yun sa mga gastusin, pero hindi mo sinama. That's why it's important din na yung mga ganitong kinds of purchases na hindi mo talaga maiwasan, you have to put that in there. To see na last month you went to like Burger King 3 times and then you will see na you spent like $50 and then the next month you will reflect on that, like, do I really need to go there 3 times a month? Like this $50 should have gone to like my power or something like that, diba? Number 4 is to identify the triggers na nagpupush sa atin on why we purchase something. You know why we buy things? Kasi most of the time, it's out of our emotion. So sometimes we see an ad and this product or this brand has really good marketing strategy. They got into you. They got into your emotion and suddenly you found yourself receiving an email that says order confirmed. And then you realize, I ordered it. I ordered it. Why did I order it? It's done. It's okay if you can cancel it. Pero sometimes, if it's not Amazon, it's really hard to cancel. Most of the time, yung mga impulse purchases na nagkagawa natin, it's less than $50. You know why? This is a marketing strategy. They will set the price to less than $50. Like $37, $47, $49.99. Dahil psychologically, people tend to say na, this is less than $50. I can afford it. Like psychologically, yung price for most people is affordable lang siya kasi less than $50. That's why most of the time you find yourself buying things that's less than $50 na nakita nyo sa TikTok or sa Facebook dahil may influencer na nag-post unboxing or whatever it is. And nakaka-relate ba kayo dito na nabibili nyo to mostly when you are about to sleep? In the middle of the night, you were scrolling in your phone. Kasi this is the time that your brains are not busy anymore, like you're not working. So you're just trying to relax, diba? This is the moment na naisip nyo naman yung mga problema ninyo, nafe-feel nyo yung kung ano yung mga pinagdadaanan ninyo ngayon. And buying things because they got into your emotion, it's kind of like a coping mechanism. So you have to realize what triggers you to buy something and overcome that coping mechanism that you're doing na you tend to add to cart and buy when you are stressed or when you are emotionally depressed. And you know what? You can add to cart. I find myself doing that. You add to cart and you spend lots of times scrolling and finding things that you like and then add them to cart. But you don't have to buy them. I find myself also doing this sometimes na pag may nakita akong maganda, I click it and then I examine that product and then I add to cart and then I explore on the website kung ano pang mga in-offer nila, kung ano pang similar products na magustuhan ko, and then I add them all to cart. But I don't buy them. They just sit there until it will say out of stock. So you cannot buy it anymore because it's already out of stock. You know, sometimes then it's just out of our boredom na we have time to spend on scrolling and, adding to cart, looking at things. And you know what? You don't have to buy it. Just add to cart. You can even click the checkout just to satisfy yourself and feel that dopamine coming out. It's just like the same as like you bought it but you actually did not buy it. Number 5 is to evaluate your every purchase. So what I do when it comes to this is I actually download my bank statements, or if you have a credit card, your credit card statement. Whatever bank you use, go to your online account and you can download your statement. Print it and then highlight the things that you don't need. That's when you know na you bought something na ano ba to? Sometimes we really see something na ano ba tong $45 na to? Ano ba to? Hindi ko naman to binili. And then you realize, ay, nga pala, no. Pumunta pala ako sa ganito, tapos bumili ako. Ay, nga pala, ito pala yun. Yung mga gano'n na purchase. It's important now, we will see every transaction that we did the previous month para ma-realize natin kung, ay, nga pala, ay, wag na nga akong pumunta doon. Kasi wala naman akong pakay doon. Tapos, pag pumunta ako doon, makapag-shopping lang ako. Especially kung may kasama tayo, no, nagpo-post talaga, ay, bilhin mo na, okay lang yan. 'Di ba? And when it comes to evaluating our purchases as well, sometimes we have bought something and importante na tingnan natin kung ano ba tong binili natin. Valuable ba talaga? Does it add value to our life or is just anik-anik, 'di ba? Kasi halimbawa you spent $100 into something and then yung value lang pala niya is like isang beses mo lang magagamit or once a year mo lang magagamit. And then it will just accumulate dust and then wala na. After 2 to 3 years, hindi na siya usable. May mga bagay na ganito kaya kailangan din nating i-evaluate yung mga binibili natin kung may value ba talaga siya, kung worth it ba yung price niya sa value na nabibigay ng product or item na yun sa buhay natin. Number 6 is practice gratitude. I have a full video on this one previously. I think 2 videos before this one about contentment, that we will feel contented if we practice gratitude sa buhay natin. If we feel grateful in our heart of the things that we already have. Practicing gratitude means looking around you and then realizing what you already have. You have people around you that you love. Those add value to the quality of your life. You don't really need the material things that are temporary to feel important or to feel success. And the most important thing when it comes to this is do not compare yourself to others. Comparison is a thief of joy. If you find yourself constantly comparing yourself to others, it's not going to end because you have a feeling that you need to keep up with that person. So stop it because it leads to nowhere. It will only lead you to mental distress. You don't have to have the things that other people have just to feel that you are worthy. You are already important for who you are right now. Number 7 is you have to plan for your big purchases. This is related to the first one that I mentioned, that you have to have a short-term goal. Like for example, you need to have a second vehicle because your family needs it. You have to save up for that. However, if you're planning to buy brand new, it's hard to save for this because brand new is expensive. So the best way is to find a second-hand or a pre-owned vehicle na hindi mahal but still reliable. You can bring your mechanic friend to look on that car na nagustuhan nyo sa marketplace so that they can see, kasi may alam sila sa vehicle, sa sasakyan, they can see if this vehicle is worth for its price and if probably how long will it take for this vehicle to still be reliable and not break down or have issues. That's why importante talaga yung planning, especially sa mga purchases na kagaya nito. If you plan big purchases, you can avoid being in debt because you're saving up for that goal. You're saving up for that thing na kailangan yung bilhin. Otherwise, if it's not planned and you don't have the money in your checking account or savings for that, then you will use your credit or credit cards, which is a big no. And another tip for planning big purchases is you have to research where are the best deals? Where are the stores na they have like cancellation policy or refund policy in place that is good for you, or you know, it fits your needs or it fits with your plans, ganon, so that you are well aware kung meron pa bang price na mas mababa, and if mas mababa, may policy ba sila na guaranteed na ganito, ganyan. And doon naman sa mga bagay na hindi mahal, like yung hindi mga big ticket items, like halimbawa, for me, may anak ako. So when we have kids, we already know that these kids are growing up, and each year dito sa Canada, we have to buy a set of summer clothes and a set of winter clothes. And you know, they go to school, they will need boots, they will need jacket, they will need whatever important stuff that they need to use every day for going to school or for going out or for just everyday living, you know. So what I do is, since alam ko na next year he needs this, right now na halimbawa it's approaching winter, so ang mga naka-display ngayon sa mga stores ay winter stuff, winter clothes. And if you dig in the internet, yung mga summer clothes is on sale, really cheap, like $2, $3 clothes. And that's what I do. So I scour the internet for this and I buy those clearance items na pang summer. So he's ready for summer, he's ready for next year, but I bought his stuff for a really good price na huge discount talaga siya. And this is what I do every year. I've been doing it for years now, and aside from makakasave ka, you'll avoid the hassle of you have to buy something because he needs it like next week. And since you're doing that na kailangan na talaga, then you have to buy something na yung price is sometimes inflated na price because they know na kids need this. right away. So they will inflate the price instead of getting those items at a really huge discount. Number 8 is review your subscriptions and memberships. I'm guilty of this before na I have so much subscriptions na hindi ko kailangan. That's why I have to look at what I have been subscribing and then canceling those na hindi ko kailangan. And yung iba naman na kailangan ko talaga, I switch to a yearly plan na may discount siya. Like sometimes it's up to like 20, 25 or sometimes 30% discount. At isang tip ha, kapag may sinubscribe kayo, especially yung naka-trial pa, yung free trial pa, and then after 7 days is they will charge you kung hindi mo kinancel. You have to set a reminder on your phone, an alarm or whatever it is na type of reminder na it will show up there on your phone na tomorrow or in 2 days ay i-charge ka na. Otherwise, you will be surprised na may charge ka ng ganito sa bank and you will wonder, saan ba to? Ano ba to? Bakit meron akong $120? And then you realize na you opt for the free trial na 7 days and after that is yearly yung plan na i-charge sa'yo. That's so painful. And I have done that before. Not just one time. That's why this is just a warning for you na if you do that, you have to have a notification sa phone nyo para ma-aware kayo and you can cancel it to avoid that kind of pain that I had experienced multiple times before. Number 9 is to avoid debt whenever possible. The biggest strategy to avoid debt is to live below our means. Ang ibig sabihin ay if you make $4,000 sa isang buwan, your expenses should be way lower than that. Because according to finance experts, you should have at least 20% of your income saved every month. So if you're making $4,000 in a month, take out 20%, put it in the savings, and the rest you can pay your bills. Now, I know some people are doing deliveries here in Canada, like Uber, or yung mga delivery, If you're doing this, you are not an employee with, for example, Uber. So you are a contractor and you are considered self-employed. So if you are self-employed, yung income nyo from delivering this, walang withheld taxes dyan. So you have to set aside taxes for that. Now, you have to research kung magkano yung taxes na dapat yung iset aside. Pero, if you want to be safe, you have to set aside at least 20% of those income from other things na side hustle you're doing here in Canada para you will not be surprised of a huge amount of owing or money owing when the income tax return comes every year. So that's just one tip because I have a client experiencing this because someone had said an info na wrong sa kanila before. So that's why hindi sila nakapag-set aside. Then they have to be reassessed and they have to pay for penalty, interest, and then yung owing. It was so painful. I had to help them. I find this common nowadays na marami ring nagsasabi, nag-spread ng information na they are not sure if it's really the fact, if it's really true. Baka sabihin nyo na, utang normal lang naman yan dito sa Canada. Well, that was my mindset before. Pero, the truth is, hindi siya normal. Hindi siya normal because if you live below your means, hindi mo talaga kailangan mangutang. And one thing is, if you will take out a loan, make sure to put it up in a business. Make sure that it will generate money for you because that money can pay off that loan or that debt and then you have incoming income from that business. So for me, you can only justify taking out a loan if you put it into like a business, into something that will make you money. So that's my opinion on that when you're taking out a loan or a debt. The last but not the least is to reflect on what you have done last month or last year in your finances. This is the only way na ma-realize mo na how far have you come when it comes to like taking out debt or like mga utang ganyan or like making purchases na hindi mo kailangan. Kasi if you don't do this, if you don't reflect, like what did I spend last month or what did I spend last year na malaking purchase na until now it's still here, it's sitting here, I never use it. Yung mga ganun, if you do this, it will really help with your mindful spending. Because how can you be mindful if you don't know something? May kasabihan na you don't know what you don't know. And that's true when it comes to finances dahil kapag hindi natin alam, hindi tayo aware na bumili pala tayo ng like electronic something and then it's just sitting there. It's never used kasi you don't have time in the first place. How would you realize that if you don't even see that thing because it's just tucked away in your drawer? And then hindi mo na-realize na ay binili ko to ng $2,000 pero I never use it or I just used it once. That's why it's important to reflect on your spending. spending habits or what you have spent previously. So those are the things that you need to do in order to avoid overspending and then getting into this trap of living paycheck to paycheck. And if you are interested in other videos like this, I have a video here and here that you can watch after this video. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope I can hear your comments down in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you again on my next one.